What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am building a very large and spacious family home on a 40 by 40 in Brindleton Bay. It's on, like when you open the map, it's that one lot that is like way out there in the corner, like on the coast. And yeah, it's a 40 by 40 and that's where I built this very large and spacious family home. And I am very excited to share this build with you guys because I don't know, I'm really proud of this one. I really like the way it came out to be. And I was just really proud of it because this is by far the largest house that I have ever built in The Sims. And that is crazy because it's not even on a 64 by 64. Like I mentioned, it is on a 40 by 40. So it's definitely not the largest lot in the game. But still, I usually build smaller homes. Like I am better at building smaller homes, not like tiny homes specifically, but I mean I like building those as well, and I do consider myself better at building tiny homes than I am at building larger homes. But yeah, even when I try to build larger homes, usually like when I have a vision in mind that I want to build like a large family house and I just start building, they always turn out to be medium-sized homes or maybe even smaller homes. Like I don't know what that is. Always when I start building a house and when I put down a box and I just start building different boxes and I don't know, when I'm trying to work on a shape of a house, for some reason, they just always turn out to be quite small. And that's what I like. Like I like smaller homes. I think they're easier to furnish and easier to decorate and a little bit easier to make look cute and fun, and I don't know. So, but for this one, I was really set on building a large home because I've never done that before. And I've also never done that on my channel, obviously, because I've never done that before in general. But yeah, I just really wanted to challenge myself and build something large. And I was having so much fun with this speed build, you guys. Like, I don't know, it was a struggle and a half in the beginning because I think I started over like 2 or 3 times. I think this is my 3rd attempt, and this one actually turned out to be the house that I stuck with. But yeah, I think before this one, I tried 2 times and it just didn't work out because I was a little bit scared to get started and I was a little bit skeptical at first. So I was already like, when I just started, I was already like, okay, I don't know if this is gonna work out, but I'm just gonna try. And then it ended up not really working out. So that took me like 2 times or 2 tries. And then the 3rd try, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna stop being a perfectionist about it and I'm just gonna start building and see where it takes me. And yeah, I was having a lot of fun with it, and I do think that it looks great. I don't really say that often about my builds because I'm always I'm really a perfectionist, and I'm really skeptical about it in the beginning at first. But for this one, yeah, I can honestly say that I'm really proud of it and I think it looks very cool. So yeah, I hope you guys like it too. And I don't know what the style of this house would be. I think Pinterest, like I didn't really have an image as an example for this house, but I did go on Pinterest to just look at houses to get inspired. And I do think that Pinterest considers these types of homes European style, and I can see that. I think it looks kind of European as well. But to me, it just looks like a home that fits right in Brindleton Bay. I don't know. I was also building this house for a family with a lot of pets. That's what I had in mind for this one, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later on. So yeah, to me, it just fits right in Brindleton Bay, and it really just looks like a coastal home to me. And it's just a very large and a very spacious family home, and it does have a very large backyard as well. I thought that would really come in handy for the dogs that I consider this family would have. But yeah, I don't know, it was really, as you can see, it was really fiddling around with roofing, and that was a lot of fun. That may be an unpopular opinion, but I really like playing around with roofs in The Sims. Like, sometimes it can be really frustrating and really difficult, and when it doesn't work out, it's just really annoying. But for this house, it did work out. I mean, it was a little bit of a struggle, but not as much of a struggle that it was frustrating to me. I was just playing around with the different shapes and everything, and I really like that little part you can see right there by the garage door, where I used a little diagonal roof piece to kind of connect the two pieces together, and I just think that looks really nice. I really like that garage in general, by the way, because I wanted it to look kind of like split leveled. Like, the home is on a foundation, obviously, as you can see, but I didn't want the garage to be on a foundation because that doesn't really make any sense. Why would you have a garage on a foundation? That way you can't drive a car or anything in there. So I wanted it to look a little bit split leveled. So what I did, the garage actually is on a foundation, but I used one of those foundations that you can't really tell. It doesn't really have that little like overhang that you can see. And I placed a garage door. I think it's a world object from City Living. And I placed that like a little bit in front, okay, I don't really know how to explain it. It's a little bit difficult. But I pushed the wall backwards a little bit, and then I placed the garage door, like I had move objects on, obviously. I placed the garage door where I wanted it to be, and then I moved the wall back so that it looks like the door is on the wall. And that way, it doesn't like snap to the height of the foundation. Like, it doesn't snap at all, because I literally just placed it in the air and then placed the wall against it, if that makes any sense. So that way it looks like the wall is, or the garage door is on the ground level instead of on the foundation level. And I'm sure this has been done before. But to me, I just really like that idea, and I think it looks really cool, and it kind of looks like it's split leveled. And I also removed the flooring inside of the garage so that it actually looks split leveled. But you'll see that later on once we get to the furnishing. And I was having so much fun with the landscaping. I didn't really know what to do with it at first because, I don't know, that's what tends to happen to me. I think that is one of the main reasons why I don't usually build larger homes, is because the lot is just so big. And I just stare at it and I don't know, I just get demotivated because I'm always like, what am I going to do with all this space that's on the lot? There is so much space. How in the world am I going to be able to fill that up? Like, I can't do that. So that's why I just never really start on it. And I just immediately stick with smaller lots and smaller homes. But for this one, I don't know. I set my mind to it and I just did it. And I think it looks really, really cool. And now I did not record everything because from the get-go, I already knew that this was going to be a very, very long video because it's a very large home. So I placed a lot of those rocks that you can see around the edge of the pathway and the driveway. You'll see me do that in a little bit. I didn't record all of that because that would just be a little bit boring to look at. And I didn't record me picking out the wallpaper on the outside of the house. You see that it's already been painted because that's just, that always takes me so long. Like, I'm not even kidding. I think picking out the wallpaper for the outside of homes takes me so long. Sometimes it takes me up to 30 minutes. I think it's one of the things that take me the longest in the whole process of building a house. I'm so indecisive when it comes to these kinds of things. Also, on the inside, by the way, like the flooring, I don't really have that much of a struggle with. But when it comes to the wallpaper, sometimes it just takes me 15 to 20 minutes to pick out a wallpaper for one single room. Like, I just don't know what to do. I'm so indecisive about it. And so yeah, that always takes me a long time. But for this house, I stuck with that brick, that grayish brick. I think it's from Seasons. And I combined it with gray, blue kind of colored paneling, siding. I don't really know what that's called. But yeah, basically cool. I stuck with cooler colors, gray and darker blue. And obviously, as you can see, the windows and everything, I stuck with white for that. I thought that just looks really crisp and clean and family friendly, or just friendly in general. Like, it looks like so bright and happy. I don't know. I just always really like the look and feel of white windows and white fencing and everything. So as you can see, I placed down all the stones or all the rocks, and that was such a time-consuming process, but at the same time, it was so relaxing. I've mentioned this before if you've watched other videos of mine, but landscaping in The Sims is definitely one of those things that just calms me down so much. It's definitely almost like therapy in a way to me. So yeah, I was just really having fun with it, and I decided to not record everything because it did take me a long time to do all that. But still, you can see that I just placed down all those little rocks and all those plants, and I was really, happy with the way this looks. And one thing that was very annoying was that terrain paint glitch. Like, I did all this landscaping and all this terrain paint in one sitting, and then I closed the game because it was late at night, and then the next day I started my game, and all the terrain paint was gone. That stupid glitch. I always forget it's there until it happens to me, and it's so annoying. So I was really happy that I actually did place down all those rocks so that it didn't take me too long to put all the terrain paint back, because there's a perfect outline for it now, so it didn't really take me too long to put it all back. But just imagine if I hadn't placed those rocks, like, that would be a struggle and a half, because I don't know, I'm always such a perfectionist when it comes to putting down terrain paint. I always want it in like this perfectly curved kind of, I don't know, I don't really know how to explain it, but I always want it to be like perfect, and it always takes me like a couple tries. So I was really happy that I did place down all those rocks when the terrain paint was gone, so that I didn't have to do that all over again. But yeah. Anyway, I am not going to lie, I am a little bit nervous for this voiceover, because this is by far the longest video that I have ever had to do a voiceover for. I think it's almost 45 minutes, and this is actually only the sped up footage. Like, it's not the whole video. There's no intro or outro or anything like that, no screenshots. This is just the sped up footage, and it's 44 minutes and 18 seconds. So that's one hell of a voiceover. I have never had to do that before. This is by far the longest video that I have ever made. So I'm not going to lie. I am a little bit nervous because, doing voiceovers is basically just sitting here and talking to myself for, in this case, 44 minutes straight. And so you'll notice me getting a little bit like out of breath from time to time. Oops, that was my laptop. I don't know if you could hear that, but my laptop is making noises. I'm sorry. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. You'll probably notice me like needing to catch my breath from time to time, because I always sometimes, that makes no sense. Like, I sometimes just, I get a little bit like out of breath and a little bit tired from talking so much, because it is a lot of talking. Like, I'm not really taking any pauses here. I'm always talking like for the whole video. I don't really edit my voiceovers. I always I put on the video and then I start talking, and then that's that. And I always leave everything in, and I just basically just don't stop talking until the video is over. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. It's a very long voiceover, so I'm a little bit nervous, but please just bear with me. And I hope it doesn't get too annoying. If it does, you can always just turn off the sound. But I'm trying my best here. So please just bear with me, and I hope that's all right with you guys. But yeah, I personally always like watching speed builds that are longer because, I don't know, I like looking at the process of houses being built. And I always think that is very interesting to look at. So that's why I personally always like watching longer speed builds. And it's not like I have a lot of things to do at this moment in time because of the whole situation that's going on with the world, which is crazy. So yeah, and even if that's not going on, like even if the world is all normal and there's nothing crazy going on, I always like just looking at larger or longer videos, I should say. I think that's very relaxing and very interesting, and I always get a lot of inspiration from other people's videos. And I learn a lot of things by looking at other people's speed builds. So I guess I should tell you guys a little bit more about the family that I had in mind for this house. I was picturing a very rich family or a very wealthy family with a lot of boys. So I was imagining a mom, a dad, and 3 boys. 1 teen and 2 kids. And then I was imagining 1 kid to be a little bit older. He's like closer to becoming a teen. And the other kid probably just started grade school and is just a little bit younger. So 3 sons, a dad, a mom. And then I was imagining this family to have 2 dogs and a cat. So that makes 8 family members. So in this game, you can't have any more. But what I was imagining this family to be, I was thinking the parents, they are vets. And they probably own all the vet clinics in the area. So what I was thinking is that the mom and the dad, they are both vets, as I just mentioned, and they own like 3 or 4 or maybe even 5, but I'm thinking just 3 or 4 like vet clinics in the area. So that makes them very wealthy and very hardworking as well, but a very wealthy family. And I was thinking that they just love their job, obviously, and they do everything for their animals. And what I was thinking, maybe they sometimes take dogs or cats, but I was thinking specifically dogs home with them. Like if they have like sick dogs in their clinic or like dogs that need to revalidate. Is that how you say it? Like they need a little bit of time to get better, and maybe they have trouble walking or running or something like that, and they just need to revalidate. I don't know if I'm using the right word there, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Like, just like people, sometimes you need a little bit of time to get better and work on like specific things like walking or something like that. And I was thinking that's the same for dogs sometimes, like when they have like maybe whenever a dog has an accident or something and it just takes a long time for them to get better. I was thinking that these parents, they foster those dogs. Like they take them home with them and they take all the time they need with the dog to just train it again and make sure that it gets better and it gets healthy again. So they sometimes take dogs home with them and they stay with the family for like a week or maybe even a month. It doesn't really matter. So I was thinking that the family has like 2 dogs and a cat of their own, but then there's always like 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 extra dogs running around that they are trying to take care of and that they just want to give a little bit more space and a little bit more like attention overnight and stuff like that. So that's what I was thinking for this family. They love pets, obviously, because they're vets. So they love animals and they love taking care of animals, and that is just what they love to do in life. And so yeah, I hope that little storyline makes sense to you guys. So what I did as far as the furnishing goes, I placed a lot of pet beds everywhere, not so much in the living area that I'm furnishing right now, but you can see it in the hallway and you'll see it in the kitchen later on as well. I placed tons of pet beds everywhere in this house because yeah, like I mentioned, there's a lot of pets running around in this house probably. And then at the same time, because this family is pretty wealthy, they do have like this luxurious home with very expensive and beautiful looking furniture. So I was thinking that the dogs, in the game it doesn't work that way, but I was thinking that the family wouldn't really let the dogs into this living area. Like, obviously I didn't close it off properly because I didn't use doors. I use archways, but I'm switching all of those archways out for doors in a little bit because I was thinking they probably wouldn't let the dogs run around in the living area right here. They do have full access to the hallway and the mudroom and the backyard, obviously, but the dogs can't go into the living room and they can't go into the kitchen because that's where their pet bowls are and stuff like that. But yeah. Here you can see me swapping out those archways for doors, except for that, I think I left one in, yeah, right there. That one leads to the study area that is attached to the living room. So I didn't close that one up with the door. I left an archway there. But that's what I was thinking, that the dogs wouldn't get into the living area as much because the parents, the family, they do want to kind of keep that living area clean and neat and as much hair-free as possible. That's not really possible when you have so many pets and when you work with animals. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, the family isn't like snobby in any way. Like, they're people that just want to be outside all the time and they love being outside and outdoors. But yeah, they just want to keep one area of their house free of pets and as clean as possible. And I think the rest of the house, I just made that a little bit messy and yeah, really just pet friendly, if that makes any sense. And then what I was saying, I imagine this family to consist of a lot of boys, one dad, and then 3 sons. And 1 mom. So she's the only woman in the house, but she handles it very well. I think she's also a vet, so she has a heart for animals. But I also think that she's the kind of woman that is really part of the community. She's really part of Brindleton Bay. Obviously, the family is pretty well known because they own all the vet clinics in the area. So everyone kind of knows this family. And I was thinking that the mom, she's very active in the community. Like, she organizes events like fundraisers for animals and fundraisers for the environment and stuff like that. And she is just very well known and she has a very good reputation. Like, she's very friendly and everyone likes her and she has such a heart for the environment and for animals. So that makes that she's very active in the community. She has a lot of friends. So she spends a lot of time on her work, on the animals, on revalidating animals, on making sure that the animals get better and healthy. But at the same time, her passion is also to just be active in the community, like I said, spend a lot of time with the people that she loves. So she is a very active, like, power woman in that sense. And then the dad, he obviously runs all the clinics. I think he is the guy that really runs the clinics. Like, they own them as a family, but I think that the dad, he kind of is in charge. So he is the one that also does like the administration work and stuff like that. So he would be the one that uses the office most of the time to just, take care of finances and stuff like that. By the way, if you can hear like a squeaky kind of sound, I am sitting on a fitness ball. I am using that as a chair behind my desk because it's really comfortable and really good for like posture and stuff like that. But sometimes it touches the wall or like the leg of the desk or the table that I'm sitting at. So if you hear like a squeaky sound, sometimes it's just because I'm moving around, because when I get excited and when I talk about things, I move around a lot. And I'm just now mentioning that that's making a lot of noise. So I'm sorry if that's annoying. But that is just the fitness ball that I'm sitting on, and it's moving against the wall and my desk. So I'm sorry about that. But as I was saying, the dad, he is the guy who is in charge mostly of the the clinics, and he takes care of the finances and stuff like that, and also of the animals, of course. So they're really people that can do it all. Obviously, they don't it's not realistic to own 3 or 4 vet clinics without having any help. So they do have people working in all those clinics and working in finances and stuff like that. But still, he is in charge, so he kind of has the overview of everything. So yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining. And for the kids, I was thinking that the teen, he's really just a teenager, but I think he is the one that also wants to become a vet, just like his parents, and he one day wants to take over the clinic, if that makes, or all the clinics, I should say, if that makes sense. And then the other 2 boys, they're just kids still, so they are still trying to figure out what they want. I'll talk a little bit more about their personalities when I get to furnishing their bedrooms. That will be a while from now on. Because it's a very large and spacious house. But I'll talk a little bit more about their personalities when I get to their rooms, I think, or maybe a little bit earlier. I'm not sure. I'm just rambling on at this point. But I hope that's fine. But yeah, I was really enjoying furnishing this kitchen. I was cluttering it up, but not too much. There's a lot of clutter everywhere, but I didn't clutter it up too much because for this house, I don't know, I was really just, because it's very large, I did think that the family in a way is pretty neat, and they want their house to feel very spacious and open, even though everything is closed off in separate rooms, but the rooms by itself are really big. So I try to keep it a little bit more cleaner as far as the clutter goes. Because I just don't think they're a family that has clutter everywhere. Obviously, there's 3 sons in the house, and they are probably not the most neat people. But still, as far as the furniture goes, I think it's not too cluttered. Or at least that's what I was trying. I mean, whenever I start furnishing, I just can't help myself. And I'll find myself cluttering up every little single corner in the house without even thinking about it. But for this house, I was really trying to keep an eye on that. So yeah. And I think that, by the way, this is not the official dining table. I put the dining table, the larger dining table, in the living area. And over here, I just added a little breakfast corner and a couple of bar stools. This is the more informal kind of eating space that they will probably sit and eat breakfast or have lunch. But whenever they're having a family dinner or something like that, they will sit and eat in the living room, at the bigger table where there's no pets allowed, because that's just maybe not very hygienic. I don't know. But sometimes I think they just like to have a little bit more of a fancy family dinner, and they'll just sit in the living room at the large table with 6 chairs around it, which is also the only spot that they can actually sit with all 5 of them. So yeah, that's what I was imagining for that. And then there is 2 bathrooms downstairs, or 1.5, I should say. One I just furnished is a half bathroom, and then I am now furnishing the mud room, and there is a bathroom attached to this one as well. But these are the only 2 bathrooms that I recorded because they all look pretty similar. I just used the same color scheme and the same kind of furniture in all of the bathrooms. But there's 3 more bathrooms upstairs as well. I just didn't record those because that would be so time consuming and a little bit repetitive maybe. But I was thinking this bathroom that is attached to the mudroom, I was thinking that they use this bathroom mostly for the dogs. There is a shower tub combo in there, and I was just imagining that the parents or the Sims don't really use that to shower themselves, but they use the bathtub to give the dogs a bath from time to time, and that is just the bathroom that this one that I'm talking about right now. This is the bathroom that is also pretty spacious. I didn't clutter it up too much either. And yeah, as I was saying, I was just thinking that this could be a bathroom that they mostly just use for the dogs. Like the toilet, obviously they use that themselves, but the shower and the tub, they just use that for the pets. They don't really go in there and shower themselves. They'll just do that upstairs. And then here I am furnishing the garage, and I don't know, I was really enjoying this garage. Like I decided that I wanted to change it, or that I wanted to turn it into a laundry room rather than a garage that they like park their car or something like that. That would just kind of be a waste of space, and I needed a space to put a laundry room. So that's what I decided to go ahead and do in the garage. And I really enjoy the way this looks. Like it's very industrial and very like, I use darker colors in here. It's just such a spacious and nice looking laundry room, in my opinion. I was just really enjoying this one. I was cluttering this one up quite a bit though, because it is the garage, so it's supposed to be a little bit messy, or at least in my mind. So I cluttered this up quite a bit. But yeah, that just really fit this area of the house, like this room. And I really like that the garage is split leveled, like I mentioned before. Like there is stairs going up to the rest of the house because I removed the floor in here. And I also placed one of those garage doors on the inside of the garage. Like there's one on the outside and there's one on the inside, because otherwise it just wouldn't be realistic. And I also placed a little workout machine, or whatever you want to call that, in here. I was thinking that the teen uses that. He is very into sports as well as he is into animals and gaming. And I just think that whenever he doesn't have school or practice or something like that, he just likes to work out in the garage when it's like raining outside or something. So I just placed a workout machine in there. I thought it was really fitting. And a nice thing, like a nice skill building item to have in your game. But as you can see, I moved on to the second floor of the house. And all the bedrooms in here, they are very spacious. So if you wanted to go ahead and use this house for like a very large family without having pets, you could easily turn the kids' bedrooms into shared bedrooms. They all have their own bedroom right now because it's a very large house. And they have more than enough space for all of them to have their own bedroom. But if you didn't want to play with pets, and if you just want to play with a very large family of people, if that makes sense, then you can easily go ahead and turn those bedrooms into shared bedrooms if you wanted to. But this is the master bedroom, and I kept this one very open and very spacious because, honestly, there was not a whole lot of furniture that I needed to place in here because, honestly, what do you need in a bedroom? Not a whole lot. I mean, there's already 1,000 sitting areas in this house and tables in this house. So I figured I didn't really need that in here anymore. I did give them a tiny little walk-in closet, but I just really like the look of those double doors. I think that just looks really fancy. So I kind of gave them my own custom-made walk-in closet. And I think that looks really cool, and it really fits the room as well. And I am swapping those two chairs that I placed there. I'm swapping that out for a little vanity because I came across it in the catalog, and I was like, yes, the mom, she needs a vanity because she is, even though she's a really outdoorsy person, she also really likes to put on like makeup from time to time and be the fancy woman that she is. So I gave her a little vanity, and the parents, they also have 2 balconies attached to their master bedroom. So this is just quite the master bedroom. Like it's so fancy and so spacious, and it looks really luxurious to me because it's not too cluttered. Like I left it very open and spacious and pretty neat. So that's why it gives me the look and feel of like a very luxurious and rich people's bedroom, and I like that a lot. And they also, like I mentioned, they have an ensuite. I don't know if I mentioned that, by the way, but they do have an ensuite, but I just didn't record the bathrooms upstairs here. And now I moved on to the teen's bedroom. He also has an ensuite. Because, yeah, like I said, he's the oldest kid in the house, and he just probably had first pick or something, or the parents just decided to give him the bedroom with the ensuite because he's the oldest. And once he moves out, the second oldest kid could move in here if he wanted to. So everyone can have their fair share of the bedroom with the ensuite. But at the same time, I don't really think that these guys care too much about having an ensuite or not. It's practical, but I don't think they really care about it all that much. But this teen, as I was saying, I think he is the one that one day wants to take over the clinics from his parents, and but obviously he needs to go to college for that. For a few years. He's just a teenager right now. He needs to graduate high school still. And I was thinking that he is also very much into gaming. That's why I gave him a little TV, and I'll be adding a little gaming console right there in a little bit. And he is also very much into sports, as I mentioned before. So he is just the kind of guy that is very interested in a lot of things. But his biggest passion in life is animals and becoming a vet like his parents. And I also put a little pet vet in here because I was thinking of the cutest thing. Like, I was thinking that this guy, he probably has a dog of his own that maybe it was a stray dog that he found on the street, and the dog was injured and sick, and he just took it in and he made it better with the help of his parents, obviously. But they treated the dog in the clinic, and he took the dog home with him, and he just took all the time out of his life that he could, and to just make that dog better and make it feel better. And that's just a stray dog that he found and that he made better, and that's his dog. And I was thinking that that dog could go upstairs and sleep with him in his bedroom because they have such a beautiful connection. So that's what I was thinking that happened. And in my imagination, that is the main thing that happened to this teen that made him decide that he also wants to become a vet like his parents, and that he also wants to rescue animals for the rest of his life. So that thing with that stray dog that happened to him, he was like, okay, this is what I want to do with my life as well, and I'm going to try my best in school, get good grades, and go to college and study to be a vet. So that's what really pushed him over the edge, is that little dog that he found injured and sick on the street. And that dog is now his dog, and they have such a beautiful connection. And that's what I was thinking in my mind for a little extra addition to the storyline. But this is the bedroom for the youngest kid in the house. I didn't really think of too much of a personality for him. I was just thinking, he is just a kid being a kid, and he just started grade school recently. He's very young, so he is into a lot of things. He joined the Scouts. As you can see, I added one of those scout boards thingies in his room. So he joined the Scouts. He's a very outdoorsy kid. And at the same time, he is very into dinosaurs. That's why I gave him the dinosaur wallpaper. And into science projects. He's really a geeky kid like that. Geeky in the best way possible. I love geeky kids. I'm one myself. So yeah, he's really into science and stuff like that. And he's also very outdoorsy. And then this is the bedroom for the middle kid. Middle kid, does that make any sense? I don't know. But I decided to make this room very blue and yellow and colorful in a way, but also I used that gray wallpaper. I barely ever use it, but I think it looks really cool. And then that wallpaper with the little ghosts, that little spooky wallpaper. I've never used it before, but I thought it looked so cute in this room. Just for a little accent wall, I think that looks just so cute. So yeah, this kid also has a very spacious bedroom, and I was thinking that he could be a little bit more on the creative side of things. I gave him one of those little drawing tables, and I was thinking he is very into arts and crafts and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he is also very outdoorsy, just like his parents and his brothers. But he, at the same time, likes to spend time in his room and just play by himself and, yeah, just be a little bit artsy and craft and stuff like that. And I gave him that bowling trophy. I think he is very into bowling. I think he is the kind of kid that would, just like his mom, like be able to run a club. Like he's very into like being in charge of things, just like his mom is. So maybe he could run like a kid's bowling club or something if you have get together. That's what I was thinking for this kid. Like he's really the kind of kid that takes on responsibilities and wants to be the leader of the pack. In that way. So he takes a little bit after his mom in that sense. But yeah, that's all for the inside of the house. I think that took me, I don't know how many days. But like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, whenever I have like a larger house with a lot of space, that demotivates me sometimes, like so much. Like I just look at the empty space and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do. So that just always takes me so long to get started. It just really takes a lot out of me. But for this one, I just did it. I sat down and I started furnishing and it took me forever. But it didn't really matter because I really like the outcome. And I did add a hot tub in the backyard of this house because I thought it would be so fitting. I just had that little corner next to the garage there that I didn't really know what else to put. And I was like, yes, obviously this family, they need a hot tub. They're wealthy and luxurious like that. Like they need that in their lives. So I gave them a hot tub and I gave them a large dining table and a grill area and a little sitting area on the patio as well. So they have lots of space and lots of activities in the backyard. And here you can see me just going crazy with the landscaping again. And I am adding a few of those, I honestly don't know what to call them, those pet training obstacle parkour kind of objects. I am placing them down right now so you can see what I mean. But I was just thinking that they use these objects obviously to train dogs and stuff like that, like you would use them in the game. But also maybe once, like when a dog needs to train his legs or he needs to revalidate from some kind of accident, they also use those objects, those parkour kind of objects for that. That's what I was thinking at least. And I was thinking that the dogs would have, they could be like in the backyard whenever they wanted to be, because I did put a little doggy door in the mudroom that leads to the patio. And I was thinking like when no one's home, when the kids are at school and the parents are working, the animals can go like in the backyard and in the mudroom and in the hallway, like whenever they want or something like that. So yeah, that's really what I was thinking for this family, and I hope it all makes sense. And I hope you guys like my storyline for this. You can always let me know what you think of the house, of course, and what you think of the storyline. And that's pretty much almost it for this video. I can't believe I made it through 44 minutes and 18 seconds of voiceover. Like, I can't believe I just did that. I'm really proud of myself. I do need a drink of water, so I'm going to go ahead and drink some water. But first of all, you can download this house off the gallery if you want to. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you want to. My username on Instagram is @simmarysims as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching this very long video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.